Hey, this is Chris from CodePen, CSS Tricks, and Shop Talk Show. I have some questions here to answer. Don't worry about it. Just don't sweat that. Everybody's so worried about new technology coming along and them getting outdated and stuff, which I understand. You don't want to be left behind in your career, but you're not going to be. If you're actively working on websites and solving problems for people and solving problems that come up on those websites, you're doing the work. You're doing a good job. You're going to be perfectly fine, caught up to date. If you're that worried, go to a conference once a year and see what people are talking about and introducing new things, but just don't sweat it that hard. You don't need to. One of the best tips to advance your career? Writing. Blog. If you don't blog, write privately or write to your colleagues or keep an internal wiki or something. But the idea of expressing your ideas, technological ideas, to other people will help you think better and will help them understand how you think. And people think of you differently. They'll think of you as a good thinker, which you're becoming. Writing really unlocks doors for you in your career, and I couldn't suggest it more. It's been big for me. Here's my top two. Communication. One, can you write a good email? We need to talk to each other as developers. We need to solve problems together. We need to communicate well. You cannot hibernate and solve problems on your own and not tell me what you're doing. I need communication skills out of myself and out of all the developers I work with, almost more so than your ability to write code directly. I mean, you need to do that, but that can be taught, that can be learned, that can happen at a pace that's just fine. But that communication stuff is trickier to get people to do well. They can be really resistant to it. So if you can't do it, it makes you a worse developer. And troubleshooting is a big one too. So again, not so much the can you bubble sort or whatever, all the cheesy questions, the whiteboard crap. I want to know how you would look it up. Like if I asked you to bubble sort something in an interview, which would probably be a joke if I was asking you for it, what I'm probably looking for is what are your search terms? Where are you going to look for? Because it's probably not in your mind right now. And if you were able to land on an answer and then try out that answer and prove out the concept and ultimately solve it and do a bubble sort or whatever it is, I'd be like, hey, good job, good enough. That's perfect. I like how you thought there. But if you tried to get your own brain to do it and struggled and spun your wheels and were resistant to try troubleshooting steps to figure it out, I'd be like, not great, Moment is a weird word because it feels I wrote a book and published it and that was my proudest moment. Sure, that's a proud moment, but I tend to not think about little moments in time as being the trophy winner moments and I'm chasing that next trophy winning moment. I tend to be at my proudest when I look back at long-term work. I said, wow, I've been doing this for 10 years consistently. Wow, that really does make me proud. So I tend to think of those aggregate moments, we shipped something and it was a result of years and months of work. Wow, that feels good. That feels pride. It's long-term things rather than short-lived things that I feel the most proud about. When did you find out that you wanted to be a developer? I had one of those moments, how they say one great teacher can change someone's life? I feel like I had that moment. I was in high school and I took an elective class for programming and the teacher was just pretty good. I don't even know if they were generally regarded as this amazing teacher in the high school I was at. Probably well liked, but I don't remember them being everybody's favorite teacher. He just happened to be my favorite teacher. I was like, I like this. I like your approach. I like that he was soft-spoken, but clear and clearly intelligent and knew what he was teaching and knew what he was doing and gave me one-on-one attention when I needed it to help me program stuff. We were programming in Turbo Pascal and I just felt so powerful telling the computer what to do and building things that were fun and solving problems. It just was really cool. And I continued to take that class over and over. And I was like, I found it. I think I want to do this. Little did I know in college that those type of classes became much less fun for me. And I kind of abandoned it after a while, but it planted that seed that computers are fun for me. I never turned away from computers. My education took some twists and turns, And that'll do it. Thanks for having me.